Well, there's a new psychological thriller written and directed by a Chicagoan. It was shot here in our city, and it features mostly a Chicago cast, including former All My Children star Colin Egglesfield. Here's a look at 100 Days to Live.
To Mrs. Weeks.
What happened to Gabriel?
Your fiancé is the latest victim of a known criminal.
Does this mean that Gabriel's dead?
We don't know that yet. These next 2 to 3 hours are crucial. No sightings yet. Humboldt Park, Englewood, Oak Park, nothing.
He's out there.
Joining us now, Colin Egglesfield and first-time writer and director Ravin Gandhi. Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Ryan?
Doing well. Colin, obviously, you've been on our show many times, and we're all friends now because we went to dinner recently. But I actually want to start with Ravin because your story is so phenomenal. Successful businessman, entrepreneur, owns your own company, but you said this was sort of like a midlife crisis to write and direct a movie.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it. I mean, in my 20s and 30s, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could make a film? And finally, a few years ago, I decided to take 3 weeks off and just shoot it. And I didn't think anyone would see it at all, but it did well at a festival and eventually got bought, and it's coming out tomorrow. And today we had this review from, Richard Roper, and it was good. Like, this whole thing is surreal to me because my day-to-day life is just, running a business that makes nonstick coatings for pots and pans.
Yeah, incredible. That's why I said it's like your life right now could be a movie. And yeah, Richard Roper's our film critic, gave it a rave review. Colin, I know you have a lot of guys that come up to you and say, hey, I wrote a script, I got a movie, and usually they're full of it, but in this case, it worked out.
Yeah, everyone has an idea. Ravin actually had the idea and implemented it, and I've been working in the industry for the past 20 years, and I've worked with some great directors and not so great directors, and I would say Ravin stacks up to some of the best that I've worked with, and it's just been awesome to be a part of this project and to be shooting in Chicago, which is my first time actually being able to work in the city. Right,
Chicago cast, as I mentioned, shot here in our city, and Ravin, it's a very sensitive topic too that you cover because you talk about suicide. I know both of you have personal stories. I do as well. So were you ever, apprehensive to, cover such a tough topic?
Completely. When I wrote it and saw that I had, decided to write about something that was so kind of culturally taboo, as it related to the plot of the film, we did a lot of research. So I talked to people who had survived. I talked to therapists, and it was very important to me to get that aspect of it right. And it's been gratifying to see that people who have seen the film, like when you shared your personal story with me after you saw it, that you said, this was actually handled in a somewhat graceful way. So that was paramount.
Right, yeah, I felt like you handled it well, and you were very respectful in that sense, too. Now, Colin, most of your fans are used to seeing you in rom-coms, Something Borrowed with Kate Hudson, obviously the soap fans out there. It's a very different role for you. Kind of describe it's a very dark side.
Yeah, I jumped at this opportunity because I don't necessarily get offered these kinds of roles, but, as an actor, these are the types of roles that we jump at when we have the opportunity to, because it really just comes down to portraying, real authentic characters and the subject matter of, suicide. I hope that we are able to shed some light on something like Ravin was mentioning is culturally taboo. And just, I think hopefully the takeaway from this film is that people watch this and realize that, if you are struggling and dealing with feelings of that sort, that there is help out there, and that there are a lot of people out there that really care about making a difference. And hopefully, just by putting our film out there, this encourages people that if they are dealing with something like that, that they can reach out and get that help that they need.
Yeah, Ravin, set this up for us. We're seeing some footage of the trailer, but I know there's a lot of twists in it, and that's what I liked about the movie. So without giving it away, obviously, tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, it's about a woman who runs a suicide prevention group in Chicago, and her fiance, who is played by the magnificent Colin, is kidnapped by a known criminal. And it turns out that he is actually targeting people who have in the past attempted to end their life. So it is pretty dark, and there are a lot of twists. I would actually say One of the other reasons I was nervous about making a film about serial killers is that serial killer movies have become a dime a dozen. They're so trite and rehashed, and we've all seen 100 of these movies. I'm hoping tomorrow when this comes out across America that people try to figure out where we're going in this movie, because it's, I don't think they're going to be able to. I think that we've done something that hasn't been done in a serial killer film. So if you're curious about that, buy or rent the movie tomorrow and see if you can outsmart us.
Yeah, there you go. And you guys are both Chicagoans as well. Colin, you live here as well, and you don't live in L.A. Why is it so important to continue to make films here in our city?
Well, because there's a lot of talent here, and I think Chicago doesn't necessarily get the attention or the recognition that it deserves. I mean, there's just working with Heidi and a few other Chicago-based actors here. There's just a lot of talent here, and unfortunately, we don't. Like I said, the opportunities just aren't as vast here in Chicago. But it's great to see that there's more and more productions being shot here. Shameless and Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, all those shows, and The Chi. So it's great to just see that the culture of Chicago is vibrant. And I mean, there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of great things, a lot of backdrop to be covering here. So I just love that we've been able to shed some attention to it all.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the film. It is getting rave reviews. You won Best First Time Director, Best World Premiere at the San Diego Film Festival. And we just had your sister on, Ravin Gandhi, who we've had on many times. So who's the bigger star in the family?
Oh, well, it's obviously her. I mean, she's a professional TV person at this point. So I do these kind of side projects here and there. And speaking of shout outs, I want to shout out Marissa Ross, who is a big casting director in town. And she was the person who helped me find Colin and the cast. And she introduced me to Chris Jennings and Ryan Lamar. There were producers who helped me get the crew together. And Ethan Manicus, my editor. These are people who, without which this movie would have been infinitely, worse. And Colin, Heidi Johanning Meyer, Gideon Emery, Nancy Arias, Chris Johnson.
Yes.
These guys.
You already have the acceptance speech ready. There you go. Ravin, Colin, thank you guys. All the best with the film, guys. You can check out 100 Days to Live tomorrow on most streaming platforms. Coming up.